Welcome to Inspired by Design, the podcast where we explore the tools, stories, and insights to help you rediscover your authentic self and navigate life with less resistance. I'm Katie Rupert, a former hustle and grind overachiever on a thrilling and messy journey. I love to share what I'm learning and help others in self-discovery using human design. So, if you're seeking a way to move forward, let me be your weekly mindset coach and share stories to inspire you to action towards your unique purpose without the force or burnout.
Most people think that human design is just really great information. It's interesting. It's kind of true. But what most people don't realize about learning your human design and how your energy works is how practical it can become immediately when you take action and try it out like an experiment. And that's what I always talk about in the readings that I do. And so human design reading is just me taking your human design body graph chart and using the knowledge that I've gotten through the reader training and the mentorship that I did and sharing with you how your energy works, how you can step into the personality that you know is true, but you need to claim and take action on in order to really use that potential. And also how you can make aligned decisions that you don't second guess, that you don't have to look outside of yourself for, am I okay? Was that the right decision? Or feel like you're going against the grain or something. So it really isn't just, oh, this is cutesy information. It is something so powerful. What surprises people is how quickly it can shift your life if you're really stuck or if you're feeling really down. It's not any kind of cure for depression or overwhelm in and of itself, but the people who have done readings with me, even just the 15-minute little freebie that I did for like classes and workshops that I've done, people that get little mini readings when they pop by my vendor booth at a fair or something like that, I have heard back from numerous people that it's changed their life. And I'm like, well, what do you mean? And they're like, I just know that it's clear when I'm a full hell yeah versus when I'm second guessing. I know it's just a no for me now. Like that little tiny shift, they claim, oh, this changed my life. And I get it. I totally believe them because that's what happened to me. That's why I went down this rabbit hole. So today I'm going to share the 3 biggest reasons people book readings with me, and then the real life way that they end up using them as an experiment to shift in little ways without blowing up their lives, without having to make these huge shifts. I was in the world of like wanting to lose weight for most of my life. Okay. I grew up in the 90s, that diet culture thing. I remember when I would want to like get really serious about losing weight or, looking better in my clothes or whatever the heck that self-image, toxic message that came from the 90s happened. I would like build up in my mind that I needed to change everything about my life. I needed to get more sleep. I needed to get up earlier. I had to instead of getting up at, I don't know, it was ridiculous, 5 a.m., I would get up at 4 a.m. and I'd do my quiet time and I would journal and work on my mind. And then I would work out and then I would start my day and I'd be the best student. And I would, and then I would have practice and my volunteer stuff and then get to bed at like midnight because I got home at like 11 and have these meal plans that I'm going to eat healthy and not eat any carbs or whatever the heck the new fad diet was. But literally every time I thought about going on a diet, I was going to overhaul my entire life. And then when it didn't work right away, or, 3 days later, I'm freaking exhausted and my body isn't getting enough calories to sustain the lifestyle that I'm running as a teenager or whatever it was, then I would just make that mean that I am terrible, that I didn't do a good job. And you know what? I see this in people all the time with every goal that they have. It's whether it's, weight loss or making more sales in their business or ranking up in whatever they're doing, right? It's this mindset that we somehow picked up, that I picked up, that I see in other people. It's like, if I don't go all in, if it doesn't change my whole life, then it's not good enough. Can you relate to that? So, what I'm trying to say here, got all excited, but this human design system, what I'm noticing, both in myself through experience, but also the people who just walk by, they're like, here's my birthday. They do a mini reading with me. And 20 minutes later, they now have this tiny little shift that gives them permission, that makes them feel seen, that gives them that little bit of embodied empowerment that's going to give them just enough oomph to make one little shift, and it changes the entire way they look at their world and what matters, and that they're enough. Like, it's a big freaking deal. So I'm going to go through these reasons, what I'm collecting over the last, it's been a little over 2 years since I started doing human design readings. And I don't know why I'm sharing this, but I had such a hard time with calling them readings, because I'm like, it's not that when I think of readings, I think of someone going to like a medium and hearing from the other side or whatever. Now, in some ways, the way I've embraced that is, when you do a reading, it's kind of like your higher self, or whatever that piece of you, like how you were designed, comes through. And then when you hear it or you see it, there's an instant understanding that that is truth for you. And it's something inside of you. It's not necessarily, someone from the other side, but something that's always been true inside of you. When you hear it and you feel it, you're like, yeah, that's real. That's true. And I can't really explain it, but I know that I want to give this a try. And it is kind of mystical, magical in that way, because so many of us have gotten so separated from what it is that is real inside of us, like how we were designed, because we're trying to, quote unquote, do it right, that when we are presented with how we were uniquely designed, it does feel like magic. But it's not hard. It's just these tiny little things. Okay, I'm going to get off my soapbox and get into these reasons. Oh, I got excited. All right. So three reasons why people book human design readings with me, from what I gather. And then the real life ways that they end up using them. What I notice is people change how they make decisions. Parents can approach conversations differently. And clients have told me how they just finally get or understand why certain things were exhausting to them. So, reason one, understanding your energy. That's where I want to start, because the question that people are coming to me with, even if they don't realize they're asking this question, why do some things energize me and some things drain me? And how in the world can it be the same thing sometimes, right? Like, sometimes I go to work and I show up and I'm all in and I'm excited and I get so much done. And then I'll show up another day and I can't do that same thing. I can't will myself to do it. And I know that people, you, me, we're juggling things like parenting and work and responsibilities, expectations from other people, trying to like live and enjoy our lives, trying to have our finances and our spiritual lives and our physical lives all be, quote unquote, good, right? We want them to be good and satisfying and successful. And human design will teach you how your energy works, why hustle strategies don't work for everyone, especially not long term. And when you understand your human design, you also have an understanding of where you're pushing against the natural things that are meant to work for you, for your good, and then making them mean that you're bad. Some examples of this might be understanding why burnout happens for you when you ignore how you were designed to use your energy. Giving yourself permission to structure a day differently than what someone tells you to do, or realizing that you don't have to do it the same way as everyone else, right? And I know that gave me so much freedom. Instead of trying harder, people are learning how their system actually functions. So that's the number one thing that I see as far as a takeaway is, oh, well, I'm actually working against myself when I force myself to get something that I just don't want to get done first. That's one type, right? If, I don't know, projector that I'm thinking of, they realize, oh, okay, I'm not needed to get all excited and work for 10 hours straight. I actually need to preserve some of my energy. Or I can hear one of my manifestor clients in my ear saying, when I finally realized that I needed to retreat and get away from the people and I didn't need to be apologetic about it, I actually was able to rest. Like, it's such a big deal. It's such a big deal when you can really learn how to have energy and not beat yourself up for doing it the way that you were designed, right? Taking care of yourself. We can all acknowledge that, hey, we're meant to take care of ourselves and self-care is good. But when it comes down to doing it, and it means someone else is going to have to wait for you, or when you have to choose not to people please, but to make sure that you preserve your energy or do something in a way that wasn't someone else's plan. And that is going to help you show up and give them what they actually need. Like, for example, as a manifesting generator, what's right for me is what's right for everybody else, period. End of story. I mean, that's true for most of our types in certain ways. So that's the biggest reason, I would say. Now, the second reason, and it's really a close second, is decision makings that feel clear. When you are decision making and you are always wondering, like, did I make the right decision? If you're finding yourself second guess, how do you know when it's the right decision for you? And no one outside of you can tell you that. But human design points to, this is the authority when you're really wanting to make decisions that you feel good about, that you're not going to second guess, that even if everyone else says, oh no, that's not the right decision, you can still feel sound and secure and like you're standing on your own 2 feet, like you're embodied with, this is right for me, no matter what anyone else says, without feeling like you're a loner and on your own. Now, you might still feel that way sometimes, but this is a huge deal because we make decisions every single day. And if you can simplify some of the just wasted energy that goes into things like, what are you going to eat and what are you going to wear and what are you going to do and how are you going to organize your day, and you're using your inside authority, it actually feels empowering instead of draining. So if you're a generator, for example, you can test and learn in little tiny ways, building trust with your gut and your response and waiting for a response. You might be someone that has an emotional authority, and you need to give yourself permission to take time for clarity and notice, what is emotional clarity for me? When is the point that I've sat with a decision that needs to be made long enough for myself to internally feel clear, not getting clear because there's pressure from the outside and I make the decision and then either it felt good or it didn't, and it's some guess that's outside of you. No, like really taking ownership of, what does my body say? What's the wisdom of my body? And check that with my brain and all that I've learned. And instead of going first to outside, what did you do? What did you think? And then just kind of staying in confusion, for example. But learning to trust yourself people, it is I want to say the word cure, but it's not. I mean, I know that that's a little dramatic, but like I'm a chronic overthinker, and knowing my human design authority type has at least cured my overthinking by half, if not more. And it's always a support for trusting myself. And I went through a whole year where I focused on just learning how to trust myself, my gut, my intuition, testing it out, and being willing to be wrong. And what I found is that when I trust my gut as a sacral generator, someone who that's my authority, to trust my gut, when my whole body says yes, after I respond, right? I might try something out and my body will be like, no, this isn't working. Or I try something out, I start doing the thing, and I'm like, oh my gosh, this feels good. I'm getting energy. That's the response. I'm full bodied in now, and I'm just going to stick with it. Like, it's the next right step for me. And this isn't everyone's authority, right? Like yours might be a little bit different. But when I started using it practically in little daily decisions, I stopped second guessing myself. I started feeling more empowered. I'm not asking everyone else. And I'm using myself as an example, but just generally, I have just multiple people that give me this like feedback, right? I have it for myself, but it is so nice when someone says, oh my gosh, this changed my life. Now it's just so much easier to make these decisions. It feels so good to me to know that something as simple as just telling you, this is how you're designed to make decisions. Why don't you try it on like a dress in a fitting room and see if it's supportive? And then they're like, oh my God, it changed my life. Like that is a big deal. And my experiment's still going now after 3 years. It's like, I've never, ever regretted following my gut authority. Never, not once. Now, there have been times that I followed my gut. I knew it was right. And someone outside of me didn't like my decision. And I heard about it. Maybe at that point, I'm like, oh, was I wrong? And then I can check in with my gut again and be like, nope, still felt good. Darn it, I didn't get to people please that person. And you know what? It kind of felt good to understand that, hey, it is okay. It is okay for me to take the time to figure out what it is that is best for me. And in the long run, in those circumstances where someone didn't like my decision because it's not the one I usually made, whether or not they came around and understood later, sometimes they did, sometimes they didn't, over these last few years, I still feel really happy that in my body, I'm keeping my energy high. I'm navigating. I can, in the moment, maybe not feel amazing when that happens, but looking back, I'm very proud. And it was the way that I was able to kind of find myself, if you will. Okay. I really thought I was just going to share the reasons why other people come to me, and it's ending up being all my examples, but I don't know, it's probably meant to be. So take it or leave it, right? All right. And then the third reason why knowing your human design, why I see that people are glad that they did their readings or learning about it, is just understanding the people that you love. All right. So this is where connection charts have been shining. And I wasn't doing connection charts up until, I don't know, probably the last year, 6 months to a year, 6 months, the last 6 months or so, a lot. I really actually learned how to do them and how to read them and stuff. But even before then, when I was just doing readings and someone would say like, I need my husband to get a reading now, or I need to know what their design is. Because when you know how you're designed to get energy and how you're designed to make decisions, or what your personality needs, like, for example, let's say you've got someone they have a personality style that's completely different from yours, which again, this happened to me, right? I have this 5 personality that's all about external and other people focused. Everybody that I live with, both of my kids have this internal focus personality. And the disconnect there, you'll have to check out the connection chart reading episode. I break that down, but the differences, understanding the differences as a parent made a huge difference, because I can now see, oh, well, they're just living inside their design. They didn't do anything wrong. I just have one perspective, they have another. And if both can be true and I can find acceptance for that, it makes things like how to ask about how was your day, or your approach to communication in general, how to interpret their reactions or my reactions. It's not even just about kids. It's my team members, the people that I'm talking to on a daily basis. Someone that I felt like a rub when we had a conversation, I'm like, what happened there? If I know their design, I can meet them where they are so much easier and have more understanding and communication. It's just such a simple thing. But one of the responses that I got from a client here recently is, I just never understood why he, like her husband, needed so much time before like making a decision. And when I realized through our reading that I have these instincts and I want to go fast, and then he needs to like sleep on these decisions, we were always having trouble. And I just thought, well, he's just dragging his feet. And that was such an aha for them. And I can't wait to hear like what happens, as they start to apply it. But it gives freedom to let people have their own decision-making style, get their energy the way that they need to, or show up and interpret things the way that they need to. It's freedom. It takes away pressure. And it even supports how you can process, either as a couple or as a work team, how you can process things out loud and in real time. For me, the biggest thing that I changed with one of my work team members, just instead of asking, hey, do you want to do this task, or you want to do this with me? You want to go to here? You want to do this together? I just started asking like, hey, this is what I did. Do you mind taking a look at it and tell me what you think? Like giving her the opportunity to use her expertise to improve things, to guide. It was just such a nice flow of energy. I love it. Okay. I hope all that makes sense. The 3 ways that I'd say are the most, there's other things, but I'd say those are the top 3. It's like, I'm not burning out. I know how to deal with my overwhelm. Decisions feel more clear and I feel confident, even if someone doesn't agree. And I have better communication because I know how I need to show up. And now I understand how that person is showing up. It's just such a nice system. I just love it so much. And if you haven't experienced it, but you're intrigued by it, what are you waiting for? So I do want to tie this up, since I am moving this month. Now, I know a lot of you listening are like personal friends and acquaintances of mine. Maybe you follow me on socials. You already know this. I'm moving this month after living with my spouse for almost 21 years. We are moving separate ways, still very much kind and friendly and co-parenting in a very strong and hopefully healthy way. And that will stay that way. A little bit scary to move away and be splitting time with my kids, but this is definitely my next right step. And I've never lived on my own. Isn't that wild? Okay, why am I sharing all this? Anyway, I decided to do something a little bit fun as I am in this like waiting space, right? I'm packing up my home, trying to decide, okay, what am I going to need when I'm alone? What am I going to need when I have my kiddos? And it has been, what's the word for it? It like my life is good. I'm excited about transitioning, but with any transition, there's fear, there's stress, there's like, what am I doing right now? Like, I'm not there yet, but I know it's coming, like this liminal space, if you will. I talked about that a few weeks ago too, didn't I? But in this space, these next 2 weeks before I step into my new space and out of this one, it's representing such a big life change and just like a completion of one way that I've been living and into a new way. With that, I've decided that I want to focus my energy on where I'm going. And Inspired by Design, this business that I've created and nurtured as my, little special side hustle. I hate that word. I guess we need a new word for what a side hustle is, huh? But this podcast, doing human design readings, speaking, teaching about human design and energy and transits and the moon and all of these things that I've started moving into and learning, and they've been supporting me along this transitional journey that I've been going through this last couple of years. I am wanting to put some true focus on where I'm going. And so that is why I've decided to do something fun and silly as I start to move in these next 2 weeks. I've opened up a limited number of spaces, but plenty. I looked at my calendar and have human design reading blocks of time as a special moving special. I was doing this like trying to sell household items and selling some of my Pampered Chef inventory that I won't have places to store in the new apartment. And so I was like, well, I want my energy to be going to this human design, to Inspired by Design. And so what I'm going to be doing is offering just a special sale on human design readings and gift certificates. They're all going to be online sessions because I want to optimize my time and get in as many as I can as I'm packing and moving and stuff. And so I'm offering the special pricing for bookings made in the month of March. So this will be foundational readings, connection chart readings. It could be a full or a mini. All right. So if you're curious about a relationship or you want to explore these 3 different ways that you can really impact your life and feel good and use them in practical ways. If you've been wanting to explore your design, understand your kids, your partner, this might be a really great time to do it. And all you need to do is actually book in March. Even if you can't find the time, like let's say our calendars don't coordinate, you could, for example, actually get your reading with me in April or May or whatever. But all the sessions are going to be online. It's a special pricing just for this month that I'm moving. And the pricing will apply to gift certificates as well. So if you have, I don't know, if someone's with a birthday coming up, I think like Mother's Day is right around the corner, right? And then Father's Day and all of that. So if you or someone you know is curious about their design, I would love for you to consider taking me up on this special pricing. So I'll have, the link to book in the show notes. And I just want to remind you that human design is one tool. It's a tool that I love to share and teach about, that I would love for you to have in your pocket. So if it's something that intrigues you, it might be a tool for you. And it's not about putting yourself in a box. It's not about, oh, you're this way, you have to be this certain way. It's just about understanding how you already work. So life can feel a little easier, a little less resistant, and you can really get out of your own way to do the things and create the things and be the person who you're always meant to be. I want these sessions to be about you feeling empowered, you finding permission within yourself to be embodied with the way that you are uniquely, divinely created to be. And so with that, I will leave you until next week. I hope you have a great one.
Thanks for tuning in to Inspired by Design with Katie Rupert. If today's episode sparked something in you, I'd love to hear about it. Share your takeaways, subscribe, or even leave a review to help others find the show. For more tools and insights, visit my free Facebook group. And until next time, keep embracing exactly who you are and move forward one inspired action at a time.